Ada is 25 years old. A nurse working in Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. She wasn't rich. She wasn't famous. But she was happy. Because in 3 weeks, she was getting married. It was a Thursday night. Ada sat on her bed, video calling her fiancé, Tunde. They were talking about the wedding. About the aso-ebi, the traditional matching fabric their families would wear. About their future together. Ada was glowing. The kind of glow that comes from being truly loved. Or so she thought. During the call, a notification popped up on her screen. Instagram. Her younger sister, Kemi. Kemi, the pretty one. The flashy one. The one everyone called a slay queen. Ada clicked on the post while still talking to Tunde. The photos were excessive. Yacht parties. Designer bags with price tags most Nigerians wouldn't see in a year. Champagne. The skyline of Dubai. Tunde asked about her sister. How's Kemi? Still living her best life in Lagos. Ada's smile faltered. Just for a second. You know Kemi, she said. Always stunting. I don't even ask anymore. She didn't ask because she didn't want to know. Because deep down, something had always felt off. But Ada pushed the feeling away. She had a wedding to plan. 2 weeks before the introduction ceremony, Ada was at her family house in Lekki, Lagos. The house was beautiful. Modern. The kind of house that whispered, "We've made it." Ada and her mother were busy preparing for the big day. Decorators were setting up. Caterers were being confirmed. Everything was falling into place. Then Kemi walked in. She breezed through the door like she owned the place. Designer outfit. Perfect makeup. Eyes glued to her phone. The decorators are blocking my car, she said without looking up. Can someone tell them to move? Her mother sighed. Kemi, come and help your sister. This is a family occasion. Kemi barely glanced at them. I have somewhere to be, mommy. Besides, Ada has everything under control. She always does. There was something in her voice. Something sharp. Something bitter. Ada noticed. But she said nothing. Instead, she asked Kemi to at least show up early on the day of the introduction. And to dress appropriately. Kemi finally looked up from her phone. She smiled. But it wasn't a nice smile. Don't worry, sister, she said. I'll be there. I wouldn't miss it for the world. And with that, she left. Ada and her mother exchanged a look. A look that said, something isn't right. But neither of them said it out loud. The day arrived. The house was transformed. Burgundy drapes. Traditional decorations. 2 families, dressed in matching burgundy aso-ebi, sitting opposite each other. Ada sat with her family, looking beautiful. Modest. Glowing with happiness. Tunde sat with his family, looking proud. Kemi sat with Ada's family, looking gorgeous but distant. Still on her phone. Ada's father began the ceremony. We are grateful that you've come to our home with good intentions. Our daughter Ada is a blessing to us, and we believe. Tunde's uncle stood up. The room went silent. Wait, he said. Everyone turned to look at him. Before we continue, he said, we need to address something. Ada's smile began to fade. The uncle pulled out his phone. Swiped a few times. Then walked to the center of the room. He showed the screen to Ada's father first. Her father's face changed immediately. What is this? The uncle turned the phone to show the entire room. On the screen was a photo. A photo of Kemi and Tunde. Together. In a hotel room. Intimate. Unmistakable. Ada stared at the phone. Then at Kemi. Then at Tunde. Her world tilted. Kemi, she whispered. Kemi's face froze. Tunde looked like he'd been struck by lightning. The uncle continued. This young woman, he said, pointing at Kemi, has been in a relationship with Tunde for 8 months. He has sent her over 800,000 naira. Bought her a car. Rented an apartment in Ikeja. I have all the evidence. He swiped through his phone. Bank transfers. WhatsApp messages. More photos. The room erupted. Ada's mother gasped. Tunde's family started murmuring. Some people stood up. Ada's mother turned to Kemi. Kemi, what is he talking about? Kemi was shaking. Tears forming. I didn't know. I didn't know he was Ada's boyfriend. Tunde stood up, panicked. Uncle, what are you doing? I can explain. Explain what? The uncle said coldly. That you've been spending money on your girlfriend's sister. That you've been keeping a whole separate woman while planning to marry this one. Tunde turned to Ada. Ada, baby, I didn't know. She told me her name was Treasure. She said she was from Delta State. I met her at a club. I had no idea. Kemi was crying now. He told me his name was Femi. He said he worked in tech. I never knew he was your boyfriend, Ada, I swear. The uncle held up his phone again. You're both lying, he said. He showed more screenshots. In this message, she asks you about your girlfriend who's a nurse. And here, you ask her about her sister getting married soon. The room exploded. Ada's mother tried to lunge at Kemi. Her father held her back. Ada's father turned to Ton's family, his voice shaking with rage. Get out, he said. Get out of my house. Sir, please, let me explain. Out. Ton's family began gathering their things. Some looked embarrassed. Others looked angry. Ton tried to approach Ada. Ada, please. Ada finally moved. She stood up slowly. Looked at him with empty eyes. Don't touch me, she said quietly. Then she walked out of the room. A door slammed upstairs. Ada's mother walked up to Kemi. Slap. How could you? Your own sister. Kemi collapsed, sobbing. Ton's family left. The room was chaos. The introduction was over. Ada made it to her bedroom. Closed the door. Leaned against it. She was breathing hard. Trying not to cry. Then she slipped down to the floor. And the tears came. Her phone buzzed. A text from Tunde. Please Ada, let me explain. I love you. I'm sorry. She stared at it. Then threw the phone across the room. Later that night, the house was quiet. The decorations looked sad in the dim light. Ada sat on the couch, staring at nothing. Her parents sat across from her. Kemi entered. Tentatively. Mascara running. Dress wrinkled. Ada, she said softly. I need to talk to you. Ada didn't look at her. I did not, Kemi said. Ada's mother gasped. Her father stood up, furious. But Ada raised a hand to stop him. Why? She asked. Still not looking at Kemi. Kemi broke down. Because you always had everything, she said. You were the smart one. The good daughter. The one everyone praised. Mommy and Daddy's favorite. I was just the pretty one. The one people looked at but never took seriously. Ada finally looked at her. So you took my man? I wanted to prove I could have anything you had, Kemi said. That I could take it if I wanted to. And Tunde, he was so easy. He was already a cheater. I figured, why shouldn't I benefit from it? Ada stood up slowly. Get out, she said. Ada, please. Get out of my sight. Get out of this house. Her mother tried to intervene. Ada, she's your sister. Ada turned to her mother. She stopped being my sister the moment she did this. I don't want to see her. I don't want to hear from her. She's dead to me. Ada walked upstairs. Her door slammed. 1 week later, Ada was in Enugu, staying with her Aunt Ngozi. Her aunt was trying to get her to eat. You need to eat, Ada. Starving yourself won't change anything. I'm not hungry, auntie. Her aunt sat down. Listen to me. What Kemi did was wrong. Very wrong. But she's still your sister. Family is family. Ada let out a bitter laugh. Family. She destroyed my life and you're telling me about family. I'm telling you that holding grudges will only hurt you. Kemi is young. Foolish. She made a mistake. A mistake. Ada said. For 8 months. That's not a mistake, auntie. That's a choice. Her aunt leaned forward. And what about you? What did you expect, sending a fine girl like Kemi to Lagos without proper guidance? Lagos is full of temptations. You should have been watching her. Ada stared at her aunt in disbelief. So this is my fault, she said slowly. I'm responsible for my adult sister's choices. I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm saying, these things happen. Tunde was already a cheat. If it wasn't Kemi, it would have been someone else. You should be thanking her for exposing him before you married him. Ada stood up. I need to go. Ada, don't be stubborn. Our culture doesn't support grudges. Forgive them and move on. Ada stopped at the door. Turned back. Our culture, our culture. What about my pain, auntie? Does our culture have space for that? She left. The months passed. Ada worked at the hospital in Abuja. Professional. Focused. But the light had gone from her eyes. She scrolled through social media at night. Saw wedding photos of colleagues. Felt the ache. She sat alone in church. Watched couples walk hand in hand. Looked away. And Kemi. Kemi's Instagram was still active. Still glamorous. Dubai. Parties. Smiling. Acting like nothing had happened. Ada's parents tried to reach out. Messages. Calls. Ada, when are you coming home? Your father wants to see you. Kemi asks about you. How long will you stay angry? All unread. Then one day, Ada drove past her parents' house in Lagos. She saw them through the window. Her parents. And Kemi. Having dinner. Talking. Even laughing. Ada told the taxi driver to keep going. 1 year after the introduction, Ada moved. She left Abuja. Moved to Enugu. A smaller apartment. A fresh start. Or at least, an attempt at one. Her mother called. Ada declined. She called again. Ada finally answered. Hello, mommy. Ada, please. It's been a year. You need to come home. I am home. Enugu is not your home. Your family is your home. We miss you. Does we include Kemi? Silence. She's still your sister, Ada. She made a mistake. Mommy, please. Don't call me to defend her. I'm not defending her. I'm asking you to forgive her. For your own peace. For the family. Ada's voice rose. What about my peace? Where was the family when Ton's uncle was showing those pictures? Where was the family when everyone blamed me? Nobody blamed you. Auntie Ngozi said I should have been watching Kemi. That I sent her to Lagos without guidance. Your sister said maybe if I dressed better, Ton wouldn't have strayed. Even Daddy asked if I'd been taking care of Ton properly. Voice cracking. So yes, Mommy. Everyone blamed me. For being cheated on. For being betrayed by my own sister. For not being enough. Her mother was crying now. Ada, that's not fair. Fair? Nothing about this is fair, Mommy. But I'm the one who has to forgive. I'm the one who has to move on. I'm the one who's being difficult. A few days later, Ada sat in a coffee shop. Alone. Writing in her journal. Pause. A woman approached. Excuse me, is this seat taken? Ada looked up. Shook her head. The woman sat down. I hope you don't mind me saying, the woman said, but you look like someone who's been through something heavy. Ada smiled sadly. That's obvious. I recognized the look. I had it too, once. Family stuff. Ada nodded. The woman leaned forward. The thing about family wounds is they're the deepest. Because you never saw them coming from the people who were supposed to protect you. Exactly, Ada whispered. And everyone tells you to forgive. To move on. Like forgiveness is something you owe them. Like your pain has an expiration date. Ada's eyes filled with tears. How did you get past it? The woman smiled gently. By realizing that forgiveness isn't the same as forgetting. Or trusting again. Or letting them back in. Sometimes forgiveness is just releasing the weight so you can breathe. But the boundaries stay up. She stood up. Touched Ada's shoulder. You know when you're ready. And if that day never comes, that's okay too. Your healing doesn't have to look like anyone else's. The woman left. Ada sat there, absorbing the words. For the first time in a year, she felt understood. That night, Ada was at her laptop, scrolling through old photos. She stopped at one. Her and Kemi. Years ago. Arms around each other. Smiling. Happy. Before everything. Her phone buzzed. An Instagram notification. It was from Kemi. A post. Ada opened it. The caption was long. A year ago, I made the worst mistake of my life. I hurt someone who didn't deserve it. I won't say more because it's not my story to tell. But if you're reading this, Ada, I'm sorry. I know sorry isn't enough. I know I can't undo what I did. But I'm trying to be better. I hope one day you can see that. I hope one day you can breathe without feeling what I did to you. I love you. I always will. Even if you never forgive me. Ada read it once. Twice. 3 times. Her finger hovered over the like button. She didn't press it. Instead, she opened her journal and wrote, "People keep asking me when I'll forgive Kemi. When I'll move on. When I'll stop being angry. The truth is, I don't know. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe never. Maybe forgiveness isn't something I owe anyone. Maybe it's something I give myself when I'm ready." Ada looked out the window at the Enugu skyline. "What I do know is this, I'm 26 now. I've lost a boyfriend who wasn't worth keeping. A sister who chose money over loyalty. And a version of myself who believed family meant something it apparently doesn't." She closed the journal. "But I've gained something too. Clarity. Boundaries. The understanding that loving someone doesn't mean accepting their betrayal. And that sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is walk away." Ada picked up her phone. She went to Kemi's Instagram. Looked at the apology post one more time. Then she blocked the account. "Maybe one day I'll let her back in. But not today. Today, I choose me." The next morning, Ada walked to work. The sun was shining in Enugu. She wore her nurse's uniform. She looked tired, but determined. At peace. Even if it was a painful peace. A mother and daughter walked past, laughing together. Ada watched them. There was something wistful in her expression. But she didn't look away anymore. She kept walking. Because sometimes, healing doesn't look like reconciliation. Sometimes it looks like choosing yourself. Even when everyone tells you you're wrong. Even when your family calls you difficult. Even when your culture says you should forgive. Sometimes, healing looks like walking away. And not looking back. In Nigeria, they say, blood is thicker than water. But sometimes, the people who share your blood are the ones who make you bleed the most.